First and foremost, Happy New Year. And my name's Tyler Watson. I know some of you are from many different avenues, and some of you have only heard a little bit about what I do. So I'm just going to share a real quick context of who I am, what we do in a couple minutes. And then I'm going to take you through a really powerful process that will help you let go of any past regrets and step into a new identity so that this year isn't just a year that you repeat past cycles or patterns that don't serve you. How many here have ever set a goal and you don't hit it? By show of hand. Where you have something that you're really focused on and then about a month or two later, you forget about it. Anyone have that experience before? Where you're like so excited and motivated and then all of a sudden it goes away and you get distracted and you go do something else, or a crisis happens and then you don't have it happen, right? So by the time we're done today, over the next 69 to 2 hours, I don't know how long we're going to go, but just as long as it takes to make the shifts happen, we are going to help you step into a place of power and transformation. Okay? And for those of you who are wanting to learn and dive in deep, we'll have a way for you guys to do that as well. A New Year's special so that you can learn the full alignment process, be able to master it, and go through at a higher level. So we'll have that and we'll share that a little down the road. Okay, here we go. This is so exciting. All right, I'm Tyler Watson. Hopefully you already know who I am. For those who are invited by friends and family, I'll give a little bit of context of who I am. I know I look like I'm 13 years old, but I'm actually a little bit older than that. And I've got an amazing wife and 4 kiddos, and we love change. We love to grow. We love to create things. How many in here are creators? You know you have something you want to create, you're actively doing it, or you have something inside of you that you want to create, but you might not know how. How many are in that space where you're like, I love creating and I want to create more? Yeah? So with that, oftentimes we create baggage, things that are not ideal. And I have it. Every single human being on the planet has it. And some of us have just a little bit more than others. So we want to work through some of that stuff, let go of some of the non-ideal patterns so that you can create what you want. Not because a coach tells you to, not because somebody says that you should, but because you truly want to. Have you ever had one of those goals that you set it mainly because of someone else? Maybe to please a spouse or a coach or even like a higher power or universe or something. It's just like, hey, I'm going to do this because I'm supposed to, because it grows me. That's what we do. Unfortunately, when we set types of goals like that, it doesn't last and you fall back into old patterns. And I used to do that quite often, where I would set a goal, whether it was to make my first 10,000 in a month back in the day, 10 years ago, or just have a good relationship with my spouse, or lose weight and get a six-pack. Whatever it might be, each of those goals, health, wealth, or relationships, if we don't let go of our past decisions and how we operate, we will carry on to the future and in the new years, all the baggage. And then we'll repeat the same cycles. And I went through that for years, where I would be depressed and suicidal tendencies and be so addicted to pornography and video games and things that didn't serve me, to where instead of creating what I wanted, I would self-sabotage. I'd get kind of close to my goal and then I'd fall short. And it wasn't until I learned about the body, the physiology of the body. I'm going to take you through 2 different processes. One is where we're going to first create a plan, and some of you already have this, but we're going to get more specific on what you actually want for this year. So we're going to go logical first. And then after you create the plan, we're going to map out some of the patterns that are not ideal, that you've seen, that you know are going to slow you down. You guys know what I'm talking about? Some of those patterns, some of those things that don't serve you. So this is a time where we're going to get really real. We're going to confront some things. It's going to be uncomfortable. I'm going to trigger you. And that is a good thing. So look at somebody on the screen and just kind of mouth to them, it's okay to get triggered. It's okay to get triggered. It's okay to get triggered. In fact, it's a good thing, because the trigger is the transformation. The trigger is the transformation. if you know how to change it. Most people on the planet don't understand triggers, so they avoid them, they hide them, and they don't confront them. So they repeat them. We want to create change so you don't have to repeat the triggered instant. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. So with that, for this to be the most phenomenal experience of the whole year so far, this is what we have to do. I know it's only been like a day, so hopefully it is the best experience you've ever had this whole year. Is we're going to take you through a process. And in order for this to work, number one, you have to have high levels of respect for everybody in the room. So we're going to bring up stuff. People are going to have things shift, and it's going to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And that's a good thing. Trust everybody that they have the power inside of them to change. So that's the first piece. Everybody down for that? Hold the space for people. Let them work through whatever they need to work through. Okay. Number two, we're going to have some fun creating things. Some of you might be burnt out. Anybody in that space where you're like, man, I'm really actually burnt out and I'm just glad I showed up to this thing because I didn't really want to. Anybody that in that space where you're like, okay, I'm here, I made it. Okay, cool. We've got some honest people, so well done. Some of you are super excited to create what you want. How many are just stoked about this year and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like this is my year. I feel like this is going to be the best year of my life. How many are in that space where you're like, I am ready to dominate, to change, to create? Sweet. So we got some of those. And some of us might be in between, where 1 minute we're there, and then the next minute we're like, oh, I just want to give up and quit. So no matter where you're at, you're in the right place, and we're going to have a lot of fun. What's the word? Fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. Yes, Lisa's got it. Tara and Beth. Awesome. Fun. Fun is a powerful way to change. If change feels hard, it's not as fun, and you're not going to change as fast. So we want to create a lot of fun and respect for all those around us. If you can do that, whether you resonate with what I teach or not, I just invite you to stick with the process, okay? Because I'm going to take you through something that this process I have taken thousands of people through. And through that, we've had people in the session land a $100,000 client, literally during a session. We've had people who have hit their first 10,000 in a month. We've had people finally be able to understand their loved ones and get less triggered by them. We've had people lose weight. We've had people do all sorts of crazy things. So for that to be you, if you want some of that, put in the chat, that's me. I'm on that. Like, that's me. If you want to attain your goal really, really fast, drop that in the chat. Perfect. Me, got it. That's me. I love it. Okay. In order for this to happen, number one, disclaimer, I cannot promise or guarantee anything is going to happen for you whatsoever. And I cannot guarantee you're going to get anything. Okay? We do not diagnose. We do not do anything like that. However, I am going to teach you some very powerful principles that I have learned over the past 10 years after $1 million investing in myself and working through some pretty deep stuff. Literally over 30,000 hours of work on myself to doing tens of thousands of hours on others as well. And I've found some patterns, some things that work, okay? So trust the process, trust yourself, let's have some fun, and let's create a fun. Okay, here we go. So let's do this. First off, the context of this is it's all about allergies and addictions. Allergies and addictions, pushes and pulls, fight-flight responses. So your past, the things that don't serve you, we're going to label those, if they're happening over and over and over, as an addiction. An addiction is simply a pattern that repeats, that is non-ideal. Okay? Think of it that way. An allergy is something that's ideal, that is elusive, that you've focused on, you've tried or attempted, and it seems like you should be further ahead. That is actually an allergic response. Just like you can be allergic to gluten or soy or whatever, or allergic to a bee sting, you can be allergic to ideas, to certain numbers, to experiences, to things that are good. And that is part of why we take a long time to attain what we want, is you're addicted to the non-ideals and allergic to the ideals. Through this process, we're going to pinpoint what those are and align them. When I say align, we are going to work through them, and we're going to go through a process that might seem a little odd to some of you, but hopefully not. It's a very powerful process that involves tapping, breathing, and smiling. Seems weird at first until you understand why it works. Then it seems like genius. So here's what it is. Essentially, when we go through the alignment process, I'm going to take you through some visualizations. We're going to get really clear on our goals. It's going to be really awesome. And then I'm going to have you step into a new identity. Through that, you are going to have feelings of uncomfortablenesses, triggers come up, which is the whole point. Those are your allergies and addictions happening all the time. Many of you are doing that constantly all the time. You just haven't been able to change it. So we want to get conscious of it, conscious of those triggers so that you can change them. Does that make sense? If so, give me a thumbs up. Consciousness is key. Okay, good. As you move through it, it sounds a tad scary. Yeah, you could say that, but what's even scarier is repeating past patterns year after year after year after year, suffering and going in crazy, not making money, not having good relationships. That sounds a lot scary. So I'd rather have a tad scary than a lot scary. Everybody down for that? So yeah, this is not easy work, but it is effective work. And this is why it works, is because you have to confront things that we don't want to. But yeah, it can feel a little uncomfortable, which is a good thing. Sweet. So for that, I'm going to dive in. I suggest have a piece of paper or something you can write on, or a tablet or something you can take notes with, okay? Because we're going to do some writing first to get clear on your goals. One thing that I want you to think about is this. This is called the unstoppable equation. And if you want to attain your goal really, really fast, as fast as you want, this represents the speed at which you attain it, you need skills multiplied by work and focus. Now, we're going to get focused right now. We're all going to put in the work, and you're going to improve your skill set. That's why we have coaches. That's why we learn. It's inevitable. Here's the kicker. If you're putting out a ton of this and you're not getting out a lot of results, which used to be what I do a lot, it means something is robbing this. And what it is are your allergies and addictions. So yes, logic is good. We're going to work on the mind today. We're going to get clear, focused. And then we're going to confront underneath the equation and actually have shifts so that you can make these changes. And instead of putting in 100 effort out here, if you got 10 allergies and addictions, you're only going to 10 out, and you're going to be like, man, I feel like I should be further ahead. So we want to get it quickly. Yeah? How many are down for that? Okay. Everybody take a deep breath in. All right, let's begin. This is going to be exciting. Work plus what? Focus. For those who can't read my chicken scratch handwriting. So it's skills multiplied by work plus focus. Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. First off, let's get some focus. I want to start with where you're going. Then we're going to talk about what has been and some of the non-ideal patterns. So right now, and Heather Jane, maybe we can turn on some thinking music here in a minute. But I'm going to have you write out a few things. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see as I take my notes here. And you see that okay? If so, thumbs up. Okay, sweet. All right. In setting goals, I want you to think not just about the attainment of the goal, but more importantly, who you become along the way. The identity that you're going to take on this year of 2025. So if you think about the year 2025, think about, yes, attaining things, hitting goals and all that, but we're going to think about financially. We're going to think about spiritually, whatever that is for you. We're going to think about health. And by the way, for those who don't know me, I spell things multiple ways. It's just called creative. So just remember that. Don't judge me too harsh. It's just creative. All right, financially, spiritually, we're going to go through health. We're also going to go through relationships. Okay, so relationships and experiences, things that you want to experiences have. Maybe it's travel or just new things. Maybe it's learning things, okay? So these are just some ideas of things that we can focus on. Obviously, there's a lot more categories, but I want you, yes, to think of, let's say I start with financial. If I'm mapping out what I want to do this year, I like to start with the outcomes. So it's like, okay, one of my big goals this year is I really want to hit to where I can do $1 million in a month. Like, I feel like this is my year. So I'm really excited about it. I feel like all my energy is in it, and that's my goal. Like, I want to hit $1 million a month. And I'm motivated. I feel like I got the systems. I'm ready to do it. So I might write down some things like, hey, I hit $1 million in a month. Then I'm going to ask myself, what else do I want financially? And I might hit some things that could be related to this. Maybe it's, and in finances, I like to put team stuff in there as well. So it might be like, okay, cool, I have this much income and this much expenses, and this is going to happen. And I'm going to spend 2-3 minutes financially going through, whoops, there we go, financially going through. And I want them to think, who do I want to be though? How do I want to handle my finances differently this year? So in that case, I might look at this, I might think, okay, what and how I responded last year towards finances, how do I want to be different this year? So I might look at that and I might say, you know what? Financially, I want to be excited to look at numbers. I want it to feel like a game. I want to come alive thinking about money and selling and expanding just as much as coaching, because that's my thing. I love to coach, but not necessarily like to be a business person. So I want to feel just as excited as being a business owner as a coach. So I might write that down financially. Cool. How else do I want to show up? Who do I want to be? And then you're going to jot those down. So we're going to give you about 2 minutes per category. I'm going to give you some stimulating ideas or questions to pull from it, but I want you to get specific, looking at what you've already maybe written down before this, or maybe this is brand new and you're like, let's set some goals this year. Whatever it might be, let's get specific and focus, yes, on destinations, but most importantly, on how you handle things differently. How you want to look at it is, if I did hit this goal, let's say I'm hitting $1 million a month, how am I different? How am I handling and managing money differently? How do I feel differently about it? That should be the focus and the goal. So I could say, cool, I want to feel daily excited about making money. I want to feel alive, thinking about expanding and doubling my income. I want to feel confident and powerful. I want to feel like everybody is helping together on this mission, and so that we can serve thousands and tens of thousands and even millions of people. Thinking about that. Okay? Making sense? If so, give me a thumbs up. Okay, so go ahead, take out something to write with, and we're going to turn on some thinking music, and you have 2 minutes. Now, you might redo this later and spend about 5 to 10 minutes on each of these, okay? But we're only going to do about 2 minutes for the sake of time's sake, and I'm going to make sure you get a little bit in there so that you can go through this process and work through all your past stuff. So, all right, let's go ahead and cue on some music. You got 2 minutes. Start with financially. What do you want to attain this year? Who do you want to truly be as you're doing it? Go ahead and begin. Okay, very cool. Big round of applause to all these first 2025 goals. Nice. Okay. Next, we are going to go in on spirituality. Okay. What kind of things do you want to, how do you want to show up spiritually? Now, everyone has different belief systems, which is totally awesome. So I want you to think about spiritually or energetically, or you could also tie in emotionally or with your personal power if you want to tie that in. But what goals do you have this year around that? How would that look like for you? So for me, if I think about it, one of mine is, okay, spiritually, I want to feel more connected, and I'm a God believer. So whatever belief system, you can tie it to that. I'm just going to use God as my example, since that's who I believe in. So if I was going to do this process, I might say, okay, I want to be able to know His will more consistently and feel like I'm doing it because I want to and enjoy it. And doing so in a way that fuels my business and my family. So that's one of my desires spiritually, right? It might be also, hey, I want to study a lot more. I want to actually get to understand how God works more, how the universe works, how I can influence others in a more positive way. So that's another goal, right? So I'm going to give you about 2 minutes, and I want you to really think about, okay, spiritually, energetically, maybe just about yourself, if that's the thing you want to do. How do you want to show up differently? Maybe it's letting go of some habits that are keeping you from listening or tuning in. Maybe it's just being more present, okay? So whatever that is, be sure, jot that down. We're going to give you 2 minutes. Ready and begin. 2 minutes and go. So cool. Okay. A light for others. Good. Big round of applause for all those shares. Well done. Okay. Moving on. Now we are going to go through health-wise. How do you want to show up with your physical body and your health this year? What are some goals? What do you really want to have happen? And again, have some destination goals, but more importantly, how do you want to show up? For example, if you're used to losing weight but gaining it back, then don't just set a goal for losing weight. That's easy. Anybody can do that. You'd rather have a goal that says, okay, what if I have a goal to change how I associate with food in my body to where it naturally fades away and I maintain it without effort? That's a very different focus than, hey, I just want to lose some weight, right? It's hey, I want to become this person where it doesn't even have to be a focus anymore. I want to feel empowered by food. I want to feel that food serves me and not me it. I want to feel that I can control things in a way and I can splurge and have fun and manage myself and still gain muscle and create more. Maybe it's whatever it is for you, right? Maybe it's just having more energy, being more excited, being more passionate. So we're going to go ahead, key on 2 minutes and begin. Go ahead and write as much as you can. Big round of applause for all these shares. Well done. Okay, moving on. Now we are going to dive into relationships. So, relationships. You can have any type of relationship, put it in here. Could be a romantic relationship, could be children, could be parents, could be anything. So any ideal relationship could be a relationship with yourself if you want to add that. But go ahead for the next 2 minutes. Think again about not just destinations, but transformations. How do you truly want to show up differently in your relationships? Maybe for some it's, hey, I want to be in a way that I can hear people out, and instead of react, I want to listen and understand. Maybe it's, I want to be in a state where I can feel loved and fully understood. I can get my needs met daily. I can be energized through my relationships. So think about really, what is it that you want in your relationships? And go ahead for the next 2 minutes and begin. All right, very cool. Moving on. Okay, now I want you to think about anything else. Experiences, maybe travel, something that you might not have put in a label, but just ask yourself, like, what is it that I am really wanting? And we're going to spend the next 2 minutes jotting down as many things as you can. Just really ask yourself, like, what else do I want this year to be? How do I want to show up? What do I want to create? What do I want to have? Who do I want to be? And what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? Okay, so go ahead, 2 minutes, and begin. Now, I want to go in and I want to go ahead and we're going to take some time to think on and write down some of the triggers, some of the non-ideals that have happened in these areas. This is where you're going to get conscious of. And we're going to do this because here in a moment, I'm going to take you through a process to really bring this up, and we're going to shift it and align it, okay? So first it helps to just bring it up to your consciousness, and then we're going to move through it. So what I want you to have, what I want you to do here in a moment is I'm going to take you through to just go through financially, spiritually, health-wise, relationships, your experiences. And I want you to think back on this past year. Think back on 2024, some of the tough things that you've been through, things that were not ideal, things that you know were just like, wow, that was really hard. And anything that you don't want to repeat. So I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 more minutes. I'm going to give you 4 minutes, okay? I'm going to put 4 minutes on the timer. And I want you to just think about, just kind of bring up in your mind, and you can write this out. You don't have to share these with anybody. But these are going to be things that I want you to get conscious with of patterns, habits, experiences, instances, anything that didn't really enjoy that you don't want to do again. And jot it down. Take note of it. Bring it to consciousness. Because here in a moment, I'm going to take you through where we're going to shift all this, okay? So we got to bring it up, then we're going to shift it here in a moment. So take some time, and yeah, it's okay to feel it. It's okay to bring this up. Trust yourself that it's okay to go through a little bit of the suffering process to bring up past stuff. It might be how reactive you are. It might be how much money you're spending instead of making. It might be resistance on progress. It might be just you're tired and worn out. It might be you've had some health stuff going on. It might be feeling like you're too old or too young or been through it all. The ringer. And you're like, I don't know if I can make this anymore. Whatever it is, I want you to bring that up. Be like, okay, that doesn't serve me, but I'm going to confront this. Might be health, wealth, relationships. We're going to go through it all. So go ahead. Let's tune on some music for 4 minutes. I'm going to just give you some things to think about, but just write down as much as you can on any past regrets, feelings that haven't served you, patterns that have come up, anything that's not helpful or not ideal. Ready? And begin. All right, now I'm going to take you through a really cool process to help you change this at a physiological level, okay? Yeah, a little tough and emotional. Oh, it's going to get more so. So this is just the logical process. We haven't even dove into the process yet. So, all right, ready now? Here we go. Sweet. So what I'm fixing to take you through is a very effective and powerful process. And we're going to move through some stuff, okay? Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take you through what's called a circle alignment. This is one of my favorite alignments. It's a really good one to do in a group. In the Unstoppable Life School, we actually teach you the full process. You can learn the variations. So this variation I'm going to teach you, all sorts of cool things are in there to help you for the rest of your life. So really powerful things. So if it's something that resonates and you want to take this deeper, just let me know and we'll share some ways that you can do that at the end of this, okay? All right, so here's what we're gonna do. For this to work most effectively, I suggest you stand up for this, okay? So if you're driving, don't stand up, but if you, go ahead and stand up if you're around here and able to do so. And I'm gonna have you stand, and depending on what your imagination is, but I like to I'm more kinesthetic. So I actually like to physically draw things more than just visualize. But some of you are more mental. So I want you to think of or just draw 2 circles, one on your left, one on your right. Okay, so imagine there's 2 circles. one on your left, one on your right, and just 2 circles there. Okay? Got it? If so, give me a thumbs up. Make sure we got it. 2 circles. Okay. So now I'm going to have you go ahead and step over to the left. Okay? So move to the left. So this circle should be directly in front of you. And off to the right, you should still be able to see the second circle. So directly in front of you is this circle that was on your left. Now it's in front of you. In this circle, you're going to put in, and the more specific, the better, because we're going to trigger some stuff, okay? I'm going to have you emotionally really put in the emotions of things. The bigger you play in this, the faster you'll shift. So if you just kind of, here's how not to do this. If you're like, this is dumb, this is not going to work, I don't know, Tyler, what's he making me do? And you're judging it so much, and you're like, yeah, whatever, it's not really real. That's not going to work very good. But if you're like, okay, man, I feel this pain, I'm going to put that in there, and oh man, this regret, and I'm so ashamed of this thing. The more real you are, more emotions you can evoke while doing this, the faster you can change. Okay? Once we do this, and I'm going to guide you here in a moment, so don't start yet, I'm going to have you put a bunch of stuff into this. A lot of that stuff we just thought about, we're going to put in there, and 10 times that. Then, what we're going to do is we're going to go through what's called the aligning process. For those of you who are kind of new to this, what I'm going to have you do is tap certain areas on your body, and when I say align, we're going to do this process. Okay, so watch me closely. When I say align, we're going to tap on the forehead, go down to the back of your neck, kind of that C7 bulge. You're going to breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth. Okay, so in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to do this 3 times. That's 3. Then we're going to go into a panting method. 3 times while continuing the tapping process. And then smile. Okay, what is this doing? In the moment of a triggered response, which is what we're going to be doing, we're going to create some emotions, some triggers. The first thing to go is your breath, which is why we go and breathe through the nose and out through the mouth. We're creating a conscious choice, overriding an unconscious one. The tapping is essentially kind of like throwing rocks in a pond. So think about throwing a big rock, which is the trigger, and then throwing little rocks around it, which cause ripples that neutralize that massive trigger. Then when you go through the breath into the nose, out through your mouth, which is a calming state, you're going to switch it into a panting state, which is actually a flight or a fight response. So you go from 1, which is a rest, into a fight-flight consciously, which overrides the unconscious. At the end, you smile, which releases endorphins and allows you to create a whole new choice. So through this process, it's really crazy what I've seen happen through this. And there's a lot to learn about this. This is the very basic version of it, okay? And just give yourself permission to just test it out, even if you don't understand it. Think of it like a cell phone. How many of you understand exactly and could build a cell phone from scratch and know exactly how it works? Anybody here like that genius? Probably not. Yet, how many use a cell phone? So do we fully have to understand something to use it? No. You just need to know that it works. So test it. If you like it, keep doing it, right? Use it. Get out of the mindset that you have to know everything before you use it, okay? Because we do that all the time today, especially with technology. I have no idea how ChatGPT works, but I use it a lot. So with that, we're going to take you through a process that as you do this, you're going to feel stuff. You're going to trigger things and then turn off those triggers, those allergies and addictions going through this process. Okay? So let's begin. All right. I want you to rate yourself 0 to 10. 10 being you are fully empowered, super excited about the year. You're going to crush all these goals that we just set. 10 is you could do that consistently for this whole year. It feels so good, so passionate, so excited, so ready. Rate yourself. 10's ideal. 0 is, well, I'm really motivated right now, but maybe in 3 weeks or so, I'm totally not going to do anything. 0 is like, oh, this sucks. I'm not really going to get my goals. I kind of just pretend. That's like 0. 0 is the worst, right? Okay, cool. So we got some numbers coming in. All right, it's a good measuring point. Now we're going to try to get that up to a high level, a 10. Okay? All right. So in this circle, I'm going to turn on some music here in a moment, but I want you to put in all your regrets, the feelings of the past year. Imagine this whole year. Anything that didn't serve you, you're going to put into this circle. And the more emotions you evoke, the better it will be. So I'm going to give you about 3-4 minutes. Put in everything, all the stuff that we just thought of that's not ideal, put into this circle. Everything that held you back, patterns, how you responded, relationships, finances, health, wealth, all of it. Put it in there. That's not ideal. Into the circle that's right in front of you. So the circle that you're standing right in front of, or right behind, put that, all the stuff into it. And allow it to take its own shape and its own color. Okay? So ready? Go ahead and begin. Dump all the emotions, all the regrets, all the heaviness, all the pain from last year, all the regrets, all the suffering, all the stupid choices, things that didn't turn out how you wanted. Put into this thing. Really feel it. Give yourself permission to just let go. If you have to yell it into it, yell it. If you have to grab and throw it, if you imagine it, do whatever you need to do to make it real. Think about the hardships, some of the pains, any guilts, specific instances. Let them go in there. Maybe just think like, oh yeah, that one time when I did this, put that in there. Me feeling this way, put that in there. Trying so many things and them not working, put in there. Spending more than I'm making, put in that. Having debt, put that in there. Feeling victimized, put it in there. Think about your finances. Maybe your team letting you down, people letting you down, yourself letting you down, attempting things, feeling difficult, or taking longer than you wanted. Put that in there. Maybe opportunities you passed up on, put those in there. Wishing you would have invested into something that turned out great, put that in there. What else financially? Maybe not getting close to your goal, missing the mark, not creating what you wanted. Feeling, how did you show up that didn't serve you? Feeling lesser than, maybe not good enough, incapable, feeling needy, not feeling like you deserve it, feeling washed up, used, abused, misused, frustrated, upset, maybe just worried all the time, wondering how am I going to make ends meet? Maybe wondering how am I going to pay off all the bills and pay out all my team? Put that in there. Anything that doesn't serve you, put it in there. Think about things that you regret. What about sexually? Things that didn't turn out how you wanted, or felt taken advantage of, or hurt, or unable to express yourself. Put it all in there. Spiritually, maybe feeling disconnected. Put it in there. Relationships, people said things and they lied, manipulated, maybe stole from you. Put that in there. Coaches that let you down, people, mentors, people you might have looked up to, turned out to be not who you thought. Put that in there. People that broke your trust, cheated, manipulated, or hurt. Put that in there. How you showed up. maybe cowering, eating too much ice cream in the corner crying, running, self-sabotaging, playing all out, maybe overstretching yourself, running faster than you thought you could. Maybe taking yourself beyond the breaking point. Put that in there. Feeling like you had to burn bridges. Put that in there. Put the feeling of not wanting to do this anymore in there. Good. Put the fear of not wanting to confront in there. Feeling like this is hard, that you want to check out and go eat some more chips. Go watch a movie instead. That's more fun. Put that in there. Maybe it's a noise you need to put in there. Ugh! Put that in there. Just the feeling of it. Whatever it is, put it in there. Feeling unable, incapable, let down, distraught. And ask yourself, what else? What do I really need to let go of? If no one was around, it was just me confronting me, what do I not want to see? What part of me is trying to hide? Trying to say, that's enough, that's plenty, you got it all. Put that in there. What else is keeping you from change? Keeping you from actually growing? From getting the results you want? Put that in there. What else? Go deeper. What else? Demand it from yourself. Trust yourself that you can get to exactly what you need, what's been hiding, and put that in there. Maybe it's some curse words. Put those in there. Things you want to say about yourself. Oh, this part of me. Now, as you're allowing all this stuff and emotions and baggage and regrets and pains and feelings in this area, I want you to take note of it. If it had a color to it, what would it be? Take note. If it had a color, what would it be? If it had a shape to it, what shape would it be? If it had a smell, what would it smell like? Really make it vivid. Invoke all of your senses in this. Make it real. I'm going to have you do something that's going to feel a little uncomfortable, but I want you to do it anyway. And I want you to go ahead and step into this thing. Whatever it is, all this junk, you're going to step into it. As you're in this, I want you to feel your body. Imagine being surrounded by all this stuff, all this crap you just got rid of. Put out there, you're going to embrace it. Go right into it. And as you're standing in it, we're going to go through some aligning, okay? So you're in this thing, and I want you to just tap anywhere where you feel the uncomfortableness or tension, thinking about it. Go ahead and tap that area and repeat after me. I can change. I can let go of my past. I can move through this. I am strong enough to confront everything I experienced last year. It doesn't have to be hard. Good. Now we're going to go ahead and align. So breath in through the nose while tapping on the forehead. Breath in. And out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. In through the nose. Out through the mouth. Pant. While tapping. 3 times. And smile. Very good. Stay in this object. I want you to kind of feel it, think about all that it represents, and just be in it. Tune into any other resistances or tensions. Go ahead and tap that area. I can confront. I don't have to be controlled by my past. I don't have to fear my past. I can stand boldly amidst all my past, no matter how dark or scary or uncertain. I can change. Good. Go ahead and align. Breath in. Through the nose while tapping. Out the mouth. While tapping. Into the nose. Out the mouth. Into the nose. Out the mouth. And go ahead and pant while tapping. 3 times. And smile. Good. Go ahead and step out of what's ever left there. And now I want you to step to your right so that there's this new circle right there in front of you. And off to the left, you should see whatever was there, maybe some remnants of it. And now in this new circle, I want you to go ahead and put into this new circle everything you desire this new year to be, how you want it to feel, how you're going to show up. And I want you to really get specific and feel it. Allow yourself to put in vividly the desires of your heart, the dreams, the things that you want, how you want to feel about those things, how you see yourself. Really paint that image and put it into this brand new circle. Go ahead and begin. Put it all in there. Think about who you're going to become this year. The joy that you'll experience. The power, the connection, the love. The new abilities, the knowledge, the teams, the systems, the finances, your ability to manage things at a whole nother level. Your ability to see things differently, hear things differently, feel things and communicate them differently. How you confront, how you change, the speed at which you attain things, the relationships, the love, the sensuality, the sexuality, the enjoyment, the fulfillment, the safety, the worthiness, the goodness, the fulfillment, the excitement, the places you'll travel, the ability to manage at a level 10, the ability to take on new challenges, investments turning out, maybe becoming something different, a coach, learning at hyper speed, your ability to keep your word, going to the gym consistently, working out, eating, not because you need to and it's this compulsion, but because you want to and it's a choice. Feeling empowered, one, at oneness, fulfilled and happy. Feeling like it's a choice. That change is possible. Not only possible, but predictable, duplicatable, going and doing what you want. Seeing yourself transform and serve and give. Being excited. Living your mission. Maybe finding that mission. Being called. Embracing the gift. Honoring the gifts. Ask yourself, what else? Who do I need to become this year? Seeing yourself waking up differently. Putting in the daily habits. The accountability. Having the systems to create guaranteed success. And sticking with it. Maybe feeling that you have plenty. You have so much abundance. Your choices are out of abundance. Maybe taking risks. Creating something new. Seeing loved ones. Changing lives. Being inspired. Inventing something new. Tune in, whatever it is that you desire, put that in there. Put that right in that circle. Let it change its color. Let it change its shape. Ask yourself, what else do I want? What do I really want? What am I a little afraid to even admit that I want it? Put that in there. What's too big? Put that in there. Too fast? Put that in there. Too good to be true? Put that in there. Doing the impossible. Creating something that's never been done. Giving yourself permission to do it your way, unlike anyone else. And as you put these things in there, I want you to take note, what color is this? If it had a color, what would it be? What shape would this be? If it had a smell to it, what would it smell like? What texture would this have? Now I want you to go ahead and step into this new sphere. This, whatever it is now, go ahead and step right into it. Allow yourself to be in it. And tune into any uncomfortableness, any resistance, just letting this be a part of you. Go ahead and tap that area and just repeat after me. I can create this. I can have things work for my greatest good. Despite my failures or setbacks, I can change. I have the ability and the choice. And that's okay. Good. Go ahead and align. Breath in through the nose while tapping. And out through the mouth while tapping. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. Pant. And smile. Good. Stand in this space. Tune into any resistance, any uncomfortablenesses, any uncertainties. Just tap that area on your body. If you don't know, just tap on your chest. But tap anywhere you feel anything. And just repeat after me. This year is my year. I can change as fast or as slow as I want. I can relapse or not. I can hold myself back or not. I am a creator or not. I can be in tune or not. I have a choice in this identity or not. Either way, it's my choice. Go ahead and align. Breath into the nose. Out to the mouth. Into the nose. Out the mouth. Into the nose. Out the mouth. Yeah. And smile. Good. Go ahead and step out of this space, and I want you to step between the two objects. Some of them may have taken on a different shape or color, but I want you to take note of both of these. And I want you to do something. You have two choices. One, you can merge the two together so that it's one shape and object, or you can destroy what's on the left. But whatever you do, I want you to end with one shape object in front of you. Okay? So whatever you need to do, whether destroy what's on the left or merge the two, go ahead and begin. And when you've got this thing right in front of you, I want you to take note of its color, its shape, maybe it's changed a little bit, its smell, what it represents. And I want you to think about this year. Who are you this year? What's the new identity that you're taking on? And if you had a phrase or a word that represented you stepping into this new you, this new identity, this new ability to confront and shift, what would that word or phrase be? Let it come to your mind right now. A word or a phrase that would allow you to truly embrace this new you. And I want you to think about and really allow yourself to choose in. As you do this next piece, it's you that decides. I want you to tune in, and I want you, when you're ready and when you've fully chosen, you're going to tune in and decide with every part of your being that you are taking on this new version of you, this new identity. And only when you've chosen, I'll count down and I'll let it build up for you, but only when you've chosen, I want you to vocalize that word at a level 10 and step into it. So I want you to think about it, really see it. I want you to map it out in your mind. 10, think about who this is, how you're going to show up differently, how you're going to feel differently. 9, think about the choices you're going to make in this new identity. 8, tuning in to who you are, how you're going to feel different, how you're going to handle money differently, people, yourself, being connected. 7, really allowing yourself to choose, not because of me, not because of anyone else, but because you choose it. 6, feeling the joy of the choice, feeling the excitement of the choice, of this new word, this new identity, this new phrase. 5, feeling the confidence in your shoulders, in your gut, in your hips, in your knees, in your feet, feeling confident and grounded in this decision that you choose to make. 4, ability to lean in fully. 3, tuning into who you really want. 2, allowing yourself to feel. 1, really embracing who it is. And vocalize that word and step in. Hold that space, feel it. Allow yourself to connect. Let it feel real to you. Let that smile tune in, feel real,